So let's wait for recording. There we go.
There we go.
Okay, so welcome everybody to today's session. I see we're a small class, so I think we're gonna have a big and a good discussion for today. So we just want to ask everybody to please to mute your cameras to save data and bandwidth. If you have any questions at any point in time, please feel free to raise your hand. There will be question and answer sessions. And we also have the chat area if you have some mic problems. But I think everything is ready. Over to you, Dr. Gous.
Awesome. Thank you, Casper. It's just the two of us today. And Sonia will probably join us later. And Tumelo and Cabello are in Limpopo at the moment, and they are having so much fun. So we'll have a feedback from them as well. So welcome to the session. I think I'm just going to jump right in and go through the presentation. And then just to provide the context, the whole reason for these workshops or these 4 sessions was that this comes out of lessons learned both from the referees and the judges through the COGA Connect season, and now we want to kind of preempt any challenges in the superpowered season, which is now playing off. And again, for those who are watching the recording, the superpowered season, the regionals and the nationals are happening now, October to December, so that our teams actually can qualify for international competitions, which are in April. But we also know that we have a huge number of brand new teams, and so we need to give them an opportunity. And so we call it the off season. So we play that from January to June. We're going to have lots of celebration events and for superpowered season, and we're going to have lots of discussions with the new coaches as well. All right, so let me start my presentation. There we go. All right, I'm going to just put off my camera for a minute, and then I'm going to, there we go. All right, so I'm just going to ask Casper, we are live?
Yes, I can see the presentation.
Okay, all right. So really welcome. This is supposed to be on the screen before we start, but anyway. And so this is part 2 of the robotics competitions, and yeah, Casper, I put your name as a presenter because I think most of the conversation is going to go around that table that we presented yesterday. Okay. So this is I said live online learning sessions. We are linked to the MOOCs, and maybe for Carmen, who maybe needs to kind of find her way, you're welcome to send Tumelo an email. You're welcome to send me an email. I'll send you more information. But that's kind of where we are, and we're on the MOOC portal, and we've got a whole lot of MOOCs running there as well. So the whole purpose of this is really to equip our coaches, whether you're an educator all the way down to a visionary community leader. Ask a question. If you don't want to ask in the session, you're welcome to ask kind of later or in the emails. All right, so just maybe as an overview, kind of where we're going, and now I'm showing with my hands, and I'm suddenly realizing the camera is off. But anyway, so we've got two government departments kind of engaged with robotics, and on the one hand we have the Department of Basic Education, and on the other hand we have the Department of Science and Innovation. And with the Department of Science and Innovation, but under that falls SASTA, and under SASTA falls the STEMI Olympiads and competitions. And within the STEMI Olympiads and competitions, there is a cluster. There are 4 clusters in total, but one of the clusters is robotics and coding, which is where you find all the robotics competitions. And I'm happy to share that information with you, maybe on a different presentation. But the thing about robotics competitions is we have an annual theme, and so it's usually a real world theme which engages the learners, and it's really about application, making fun learning. And you'll also see as you kind of journey with us, every competition has kind of got a slightly different requirements, kind of a different level, but then also a different level for coaching, and then a different level for the preparation of a team. So what we're going to do today is we're going to do the first Lego League challenge, and the theme is superpowered, and we have up to 10 learners in the team. We're just warning that it says up to 10 learners, and it's possible to give all learners a role. What you don't want is learners just kind of riding the wave and not actually participating, and that's quite sad for us. All right, so the robot you need to build and program, and it needs to perform in robot games, and you get the highest score of 3 matches, but you only get 150 seconds to score. And so on that level, I would really recommend that you watch some YouTube videos, maybe not the teams that are scoring the 600 plus points. Keep it real and watch some teams doing just a good start to a robot game. Okay. But over and above the fun of building and programming a robot, and remember, every team must have their own robot, and every team must have their own programs, and every team must have a backup of the program. So kind of just FYI, I think it's a good idea that every team has at least one, maybe USB or flash, just to kind of keep their program safe, and you just need to back that up every day. But so that's the loud part. But every team also needs to do a project presentation, needs to be able to technically explain the build and explain the program, and at all times demonstrate core values, which is gracious professionalism as a team, whether they respect each other and they talk nicely to each other and they know what the value of each of the team members is. And also just in terms of technical, we don't want teams coming to a competition saying, okay, this is the robot. No, well, explain it to me. This is the brain. These are the axles. These are the wheels. This is the gearing. This is the power attachments. These are the, and there are various ways of presenting that. And maybe I'll maybe do that on Thursday. I'll just give you some examples. All right. So yesterday we really unpacked the missions rule book, and it's actually a physical rule book. And so that needs to be printed, and I think every team member needs to know what the rules are. But what I want to do today is to show you that you really first and foremost need to program and build the attachments, but program the low risk, making the low risk missions. So starting at a given place, and also to start all the missions to start at a single place, and then tomorrow we can look at the high risk stuff, the stuff that is going to take you a lot of time, but also probably need a little bit more exact programming. Okay, and then on Thursday we'll kind of put it all together into a strategy to test, and I'm going to keep talking about that. You're going to hear these words quite a lot. Okay, so you really need to have all team members, each member, not all members, but each member you must know the mission names, requirements, and points. Remember, it's your team that's going to be refereed, and you don't want your team members to argue with your coaches. Okay, and then really, if you can have a team, if you have a team that you can divide up into, say, 3 groups, each group needs to build maybe not build the whole robot, but have 2 or 3 members build the actual chassis of the robot, and have groups building the attachments, and then also to program that mission, and then participate, and they must participate in the project. And so there's a lot of little things, and I hear you, Eric, when you say it's about time management. It really is, but the benefits are amazing. All right, so they learn to work with each other, and you'll see second year, third year, if a team sticks together, they just know what they're doing. It's amazing. All right, so as a coach, you need to coach. You may not do, and you must always be prepared. And so really, if you have a team meeting, every coach gets a team meeting guide. There are really there are QR codes. So the first thing is you build your mission models. That's that long box that you get with all the numbered bags. You take all the numbered bags, you put it all into numerical order, and then you take all the bags labeled number 1, and then you build mission model number 1, and then mission number 2. So this is your challenge box. It's the long box which has got the mat rolled up. Okay. Then they say you can put it on the floor or on a table. I would really encourage you to build at least the tabletop. With the sides, you really don't want your robot to run off the table. Okay. Then once you've put your mission models, you have the dual lock to put the mission models into place, and there is a whole setup, and it's got page references. Okay. By section number 4 or step number 4, now you need to watch the season videos, and please don't watch it on your own. Watch it with your team members so that they really understand what the missions are. So one of the cool things is, once you've gone through the videos, then to step up to this is the mat on the table, step up to it, and then get the learners to, like, okay, so if we start kind of, if we start over here, we can do that mission and then come back. Okay, and then we want, oops, sorry. And then we want to get to here, because now this year, for the first time, we've got 2 launch areas. My goodness, we're going to be busy this year. All right, so now you want to do that mission. So just as a more reliable move, then just move from here to there. Okay, then reposition your robot and you go straight and you come back. All right, then you can move across and you go straight and you come back. You see, you've got very distinct. We are trying to get as many points as possible, and if you discuss it with your team, then they can see it. And then you want to come back here. Well, maybe you shouldn't come back here again. Maybe you should do this mission and that mission and maybe that mission, and then go across and then do that mission. Then you've got 4 missions done. But maybe whilst you're moving from here to here, maybe do number 10 as well. There is no order, and you do not need to do all the missions. All right, so I hope that's very clear. You don't have to do them all. You don't have to do it in numerical order, but you need to stand around a table and look and discuss and find out how are we going to solve this challenge. All right, so that's the coach, and it's on page 5 of your team meeting guide, which is, it's all there, and it's got lovely QR codes. It'll get you to where you want to go. All right, so what you need to have in the back of your mind as a coach is you need to be able to set goals that are realistic. This is where you coach your team. Do not set the team that they must score 680 points. That is a YouTube video, and it's usually of a very experienced team. You will see that they have been doing it for a long time. And yes, we want to get there. All right. But for the first year, for our first competition, I would say aim 100, 120 and score well with low risk missions. All right. And then you work up. Oh, and sorry, Eric, I haven't changed my video. I've got it again as Dr. Hino. He's Mr. Hino. Sorry. So, what you always want for new teams and rookie teams, their first competition, you need to go in there guns blazing and saying, let's just have a whole lot of fun. Make it fun. Make it a team experience. And if you set the goal to have, you're going to do 12 missions or you're going to score 120 points, well, that's awesome. That is absolutely awesome. Divide the load. Do not give it just to one learner and say, okay, you do this and that, and the others can just sit by and watch. No, it doesn't matter whether you are designing the T-shirt or whether you are setting up the poster or whether focus on their strengths rather than their weaknesses. Okay, but also encourage them at all times. Okay, so your team should be able to read the rules. So I've just got this picture here. That is the mission that comes kind of between the 2 launch areas. So that your team needs to be able to quickly identify what's going on. So if there's a 1 energy that falls out, then you get 5 points. If it's 2, you get 10 points, and if it's 3, and then if it's all 3, you get the 10 bonus points. So that is where you have the scoring. There is a score sheet as well in your books, and I'll show you that now. I would highly recommend that after every session that you have with your team, score the robot. Run a robot match, 150 seconds, let it run, and then you can identify where you need to start working tomorrow, or whenever you have another session. There must be a discussion of ideas and of work, and it's just first and foremost that I must actually go right at the top. You must have fun. The learners must actually have fun. This is not just another day in school. This is really having fun and figuring out. And then if you can see, like on day 1, you score 20 points, and on day 2, you got 40 points, and then you say, okay, if we can get to 50 points, we can all have an ice cream, or we can, I don't know, we can do something. There's always fun ideas to have as a team. Okay. So just in terms of setup, on the day of the competition, there will be there'll be 2 teams competing, and the tables go kind of back to back. And for this year, it's kind of like hand to hand. So those 2 hands must actually, clap, and it's one of those things. So this is how it's going to be set up. The one team is going to have 2 members, 2 technicians here and 2 technicians here. They can swap out over here and they can swap out over there, but they can't walk from here to here. They can't pick up the robot here and put it down here. That's not allowed. All right. So you as the coach, you've got 12 sessions. Okay. And really, really, really prepare well. Okay. And if you keep in the back of your mind that the first 4 sessions are really like unpacking everything and analyzing everything and problem solving, then the next 4 sessions are really about getting the solution bits and pieces together. And then the last 4 sessions is where you put everything together and say, this is our strategy, this is how we're going to score, and this is how we're going to work. All right. I think for many teams on the first day to have so many teams competing simultaneously is very daunting. But at international, sometimes you've got 8 tables running at the same time, and it's it's a lot of fun, believe you me. Okay, so now how do you link up all the missions that you have with your team members? Okay, so the first thing is if you have team roles, and sometimes you'll need, so if you've divided your group in your team into say 3 groups, make one kind of the builder of the attachment, the other one tests the attachment, the other one writes the little program. Or so you need to have a role, if it's within the team or with the group. Yes, overall we're going to have builders and programmers, but we're not going to have you the builder and you're the programmer and you're the researcher. It really needs to be, it's the type of members, but I would say everybody needs to have a kind of access. So you can't have one member that only does the building and they don't do anything about programming. They need to have something. But and kind of underlying that, there are different approaches to problem solving skills, and not everybody sees problems the same way, which is why you have some team members that can build the little attachment and some team members that can actually program the solution. All right, so just keep that in the back of your mind. Okay, so we've already launched the season. There's a lot of relevant documents which you will receive once you've registered a team. Read them, do research, and to do research means also looking what other teams are doing and know the missions. All right, I'm going to show you that now. So every mission, no, let's go and step back. All missions can be divided up. All right, and Casper showed you a tabulated version of it, which we're going to do now. But really, it's analyzing the mission and saying, are we dropping something? Are we fetching something? Are we pushing something? Are we pulling something? And so you can write this all down because that is part of solving the problem. And then once you've got it, you've built the attachment, you've programmed it, well, then run it. So test it, score it, and see how long it takes to do the mission. And so each little group can, and this is where I said the middle 4 is all the little bits and pieces that you're putting together. All right. So here is where the strategy comes. So the strategy will probably be towards the end of the middle 4 sessions, okay, where you've got each program building an attachment for each mission. Now we want to put it all together. Can we join them up so that we save time? All right. And eventually each team must then decide which missions they're going to do and which missions they're not going to do, which they're going to keep in their back pocket. And if there is time, then they will, because you need, if you put all the missions together and you write it up on a table and you add the time, that cannot be more than 150 seconds. All right. And so maybe you need to speed some of the missions up. But to what, is it going to really give us more points, or is it just to save time? Okay. And then what we do is we combine the missions into a run. Okay. And then that must be timed and scored. And so then we're combining for effectiveness. And then you have to put an ordering to the runs. Maybe you run on the left-hand side, then move across, and then do on the right-hand side. And each time you have a test and score on the time. And those papers, those scoring sheets, keep them. Write comments at the bottom and say, well, this didn't work, and that didn't work, and that took too long. All right. And so the strategy is where you order everything together and adapt it in a run. Okay. So now it's the removing the very high risks. And I actually should have put it into brackets, because what you don't want to do is you want to tell your learners, take out the high risk missions. sometimes it's good that they step out of their comfort zone and they try one. You as a coach, I'm going to kind of FYI, let them do all the missions and keep the high risk missions for the end. Okay, so that they already have the points they want to score. And then there's like, yeah, well, we're going to try this. And then there comes this kind of approach, like, let's try it. Let's just give it a bash. We've got enough time. We know it takes 12 seconds and it's going to give us 20 points, but let's try it anyway. And so putting the high risk missions kind of right at the end is really exciting. Well, I think so. It's kind of fun. All right. So how do your teams know what to do? Well, they've got their engineering notebook, okay, and they've also got, there's all the robot resources on QR code. Here tells you exactly what you have to do. This is the game rulebook I'm going to show you now. But really, test and iterate your robot solution to complete the missions. You just do it over and over and over again. And so my teams, they could not tell me that the mission worked until it worked 3 times. So show me that it works 3 times, exactly the same, has exactly the same score, and then I will take it off the checklist and say, okay, that's working. You can go on to the next one. Okay. Yeah, the hit and run doesn't really work. You've got to make sure you start at the same place. You have to make sure that you end at the same place. You have to make sure that at all times your robot is fully charged. And just on that note, your robot's going to go a little bit array if it's not fully charged, and then you make the learners make the mistake of then changing the code. Please don't. Let it rather keep it well charged. Okay, there's a really okay. So that's also in the engineering notebook. This page you can make lots of copies. Okay, so and it's good to have. So mission name will be I don't know, the dinosaur, and it's mission number 1 just for reference purposes. So what are we going to do? We're going to move forward, and then we're going to stop, and then we're going to turn left, and then we're going to stop, and then we're going to go forward with a powered attachment, and then we're going to stop, and then we're going to reverse all the way back to base. Let them use as many words as possible, because it's good that they then understand what they're doing. Okay, then you go with a pen or a color pen or a Cokie or a crayon, or these wonderful flexi things. I don't know what they're called, but it's lots of fun. Okay, and then show me that you're going to put the robot down here, and it's going to go there, and then it's going to go there, and then it's going to come back. So that's green, and there's something in the way here. So it'll go green and come back and turn and forward and back. There you go. All right, and then it will go from here to here. So you draw an arrow, and then if you go from here to here, and that's the starting positions here in this corner, and then you move it across, put the starting position there, it goes, and it's always good to head it out straight. So then it goes out straight and back again. And then, yeah. Okay. Lots of these pages, rather more than little, but it doesn't have to be exactly the same forward, but you can use the idea. And it's good for learners just to kind of show me, tell me what you're going to do, instead of just like, oh, it's not doing what it has to do. All right, so I'm going to now show you the rules book, and then the runs for the superpower challenge, and then you have how to build up then a strategy of the runs. Okay, so let me just let me show you here.
As I open a rule book, Dr. First, I have it here.
Have you got the rule book?
Yes.
I think I've got. Is this not the rule book?
Let me see. Yes, that's the rule book.
Okay. All right. Thank you. I want you to put up that table.
All right. I will.
That we're going to work with.
Otherwise, I can do both of them at the same time.
Oh my word. Okay, you do that. You do that.
And quickly, before I just want to answer KK. Yes, the teams need to decide which side of the home area they're going to use.
Yes.
Yes. And then they have to program the robot to go from one area to another area.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So just by way of, it's very explicit. What is in, what is out, what you get points. Okay. And the rule kind of, if it's not in the rule book, then it's not a rule. Okay. But there are updates, and so the updates are usually posted on the First Lego League updates file. I don't think there's been many recently, but I might be wrong as well. But let me just show you an easy one.
And Dr. First, start the screen share.
Must I get off here?
Yes, you can have it here for you.
I don't know what I'm sharing here. Where am I? Okay, there we go. Okay, awesome. Okay, so what we wanted to show you, and this is going to be a work in progress, but your learners then will stand around and they will kind of analyze the robot mission. So this number 2 is called the oil platform. Okay, so what must it do? It must go out here, and I think it must lift. There we go. The oil is a non-renewable energy source, and the pump the oil so the fuel units load into the fuel truck and then deliver the fuel truck to the fueling. All right. So what you've got to do is you've got to lift this arm, and at least one fuel unit is in or partly in, then you get 10 points. Okay. But you get 5 for every. So they show you very clearly. This is the fuel truck. There it is inside the van, and then how it goes out. Okay. So what are you doing with this? You're taking it, and this has got to lift up. All right. And now a good thing is to get the learners to stand by the table and play with the oil platform. Okay. Lift it up, try and lift it up, see what happens. Does it fall into the truck? What must you do? They're going to say, and you over here where it says oil is mission up to oil platform. So the points that you can get here are a maximum of 25. Okay. But maybe you just want to aim for the fuel. So we're going to aim for, we're going to aim for 10 points. We're going to aim for 10 points. We could get an extra 15. All right. And then what type is it? What mission? So are we delivering something? No. Are we pushing something? No, we're lifting something. All right. How difficult do you think it is? Well, I think this one has got to be quite precise because it's got to be lifted exactly. Okay, so you can tell your team, well, let's say our difficulty is on a scale from 1 to 5. I would probably give this one a 4. Okay, but there under the comment, you'll say what's really good about it, it's close to base. So you can go from base out, do the oil platform, and come back. All right, so that's the first thing. So if you go on your picture now, you think, what other one can I do that is quick? Look there.
Close.
Yes.
I just want to add one thing. So there is 3 fuel units on it. There's a max of 3 fuel units that you can add, 5 points each. So it's a max of 15 points.
Okay.
For 3 units.
Okay. So we've got 15 already. Yay.
Yes.
Okay. All right. So now, and what we can also do, you haven't got an 18 where that you don't get your penalties.
Yes, we have 50. There are 50 points if you start with it.
Okay, so right down the bottom, we can add 50 points. So we're only going to do the oil platform, and we get the robot back to base. We've already got 65 points. All right.
And there is one thing I want to add on that mission.
Yes.
What happens is if you incorrectly lift out the arm, it actually breaks. It breaks it, like it stops it. You can't go any further.
Oh, so we've got to add that to the comments.
Yes. So just check which way you're going to do the robot at the arm.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Okay. So there's a thing you've got to watch out for. That's maybe why it's a little bit more difficult.
Okay.
All right. Okay. Anybody else want to say which mission they think we should do next? Remember, we've started here on the left. We've started on the left launch area. And so far, we've got 50 plus 15. We've got 65 points. Let's just get to 100. Which one do you think is the next one? Anybody want to comment? Anybody? Okay, I don't see any hands. All right, number 10. What is number 10?
Number 10 is, okay. So number 10 is we need to go lift up this area of the arm. And then push down this area here to release the 3 fuel units. But I would have actually gone for while still in that area would have been mission 4, if not mistaken, the solar farm.
You want to go via the solar farm. Okay, let's do the
No,
solar farm.
number 4, yeah. Okay. So number 4 is an easy mission. It's an easy 20 points. All you have to do is just remove the free fuel units, electric units, from their circles. If all three of them, if all 3 of them are removed, you get an extra 5 points.
Can we just push it?
Yes.
Easy, easy. All right. So we're going solar farming. We have got, what did we say? 20 points.
So yes. So it is 5 points for each unit. And there are 3 units, so thus you can actually say 15, 5 for each unit. Okay. And then if also there's a constraint of a max of 3. Okay. And then the extra one is we need to have, we get 5 points if not on circle. Okay. All right. So the type of mission this is, I would say it's just push. I would agree. Because you can make an attachment and collect them and use them in another mission, actually. Okay, but we're going to get as many points as quickly as possible. Yes. So, push mission. Okay. Now, difficulty on this one, I would say a maximum of a 2. Yeah, cool. I agree. And then easy, I'll say it's easy 20 points. Cool. All right, so we've got 15 and 20 is 35, and 50, we've got 85 points already. Yes. All right, so you understand how we go about it, but this discussion that Casper and I are having, that is what you have with your teams, all right? And you stand around the board and let them touch the things and say, see how it works. Could we do something else? You can always come back and say, well, maybe we can do these 3 missions and then go to the other side. We might be able to, if later we have time, maybe we can tackle the hydrate dam, number 11. But let's first get our 100 points. So far we've got 20 and 15 is 85 and 50 is 85 points. All right. Okay. So now we're going to go across. Should we go and do that number 10, the power plant? This is more, I would say it's more for not an easy mission, actually. Okay. And if not mistaken, so it's 5 points for each unit that's not in the area, and 10 points if there's no units in it. So it is 25 points, but it is a little bit of work. Okay, so let's put on our chart that we're busy writing next to as the comment. There under comment, high risk, perhaps later. Okay. All right. So if the team has still got time, we can always come back to this, but we're not going to do it first time. All right. So we're going to drive straight from the left launch area straight across to the right launch area. Right. When we get here, now we're going to do another mission. So we're going to aim this way, and we're going to go straight out, and we're going to do number 8, the TV. Okay, let's watch the TV one. Okay. So now we've got to go forward. If the television is completely raised, we get 10 points. If an energy unit is completely in the green television slot, another 10 points. Okay, so let's maybe say we'll just take 10 points to watch TV. Let's just get the 10 points. Okay, so then watch TV number there we go, 8. So 10 points. Okay, extra will be the cell or the energy cell. Okay. And so what I can say is this one is when you push that TV and you don't use too much force, that unit will 90% of the time will fall in this position that it is now. Awesome. Okay, so it's a push. It's a type is a push mission. Difficulty. Well, I would give it a 3 because there is the risk that it falls over. Yeah. Okay. That is if you use too much force. Okay, yeah. And then under comments, we'll add the energy unit later. So I'll actually say this one. Easy 20 points actually. That's
Yeah.
my comment.
Yeah.
But I can also add, this is before you even have the table, the team can go and look at the document and then
Yes.
analyze it also in this way before,
Yes.
even while you wait for your mat to arrive.
Yes. Exactly. All right. Okay, so then we've got number 8, and then so we've already got 15, and 15 is 30, 40. We've got 90 points. We need 10 more points. Where are we going to get 10 more? Anybody
Dr.
found the
forgot
mission?
the 10 points that we got from the unit. That's fell
Oh,
in.
we're going to put the unit in. Okay.
No,
So then we've got 100 points.
It's already in the setup. It goes underneath the TV, so it falls directly into the place.
Okay. Oh, it falls into it. So there we've got 100 points.
Yeah,
right?
105 points, and then yeah.
So now what you need to do is you need to take this, and now you program. So you've got one group does the oil platform, the next group does this one, and the next group does the TV. Now we put it all together. It's the end of the class, and we run it. We do it in this way. If we decided we're going to do this one, and then this one, and then we're going to go across, and we're going to watch TV. So then we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 moves in total, and then we run it, and we see how long it takes and how many points we get. Okay. And then tomorrow when you come back, you say, okay, so this is what we did. This is what we've achieved. And it takes, I don't know, 52 seconds, which means we've got just on, no, not even a minute, 150 seconds. You've got just about 80 seconds left. Maybe we can try one more mission.
Okay. You can even add it into a table like this one, where you say, this is the time that the minimum time we need for this mission and the max amount of time. Correct. So you can even decrease the time that you need for each mission.
Okay. Excellent. Yes. And what you do need to factor in as well is teams need to change the attachments for the different missions. So that comes in with the total time. That's why you need to run a total mission run to see if when you change over. So it comes in, and the person whose mission is coming into the launch area, they must take the attachment off, and the person who is going to run the next mission must attach the mission, and then it goes. And so that part of working together and synchronizing, that's all part of teamwork. All right, showing that the team can work together without getting flustered, without thinking they need to be in charge. It's got to be a team effort. All right. Okay, so there we've got, thanks Casper for that. So there we've got 1, 2, 3 of the missions that we're going to do. We're going to do on the left side, then we're going to go to the right side. We're going to do that mission. Got 100 points, and so then that's it. Okay, you've got low risk, but your teams have a 3-digit score, and that's awesome. Okay, now you can say, okay, if we can get to 100 by the end of this week, then we can add on another mission. Which one do you think? Well, and so of course some of them is going to say, well, I really want to do the hydro dam. Great, that's high risk. I really, really, really want to try the little baby rhino, baby dinosaur. It's high risk, yes it is. But if you've got your points on the board, you can take the risks. There's number 14. It's a really cute one. I like the toy factory with the baby. Yeah. All right. So before we change screens, are there any questions? Anybody want to ask anything? Anybody? Are we good? Okay, looks like we're good. All right. So this is, yes,
if they want, another mission. If they want to do an easy mission, I would say if they build an arm for mission 2, they can just as well use that same arm to do mission 6. Flip that's the car.
Oh, that's the car. That was the car. Yes, yes.
So if they push this up, the unit will fall into the car, and the car will also be released. Correct. Which gives you 10 if the car is no longer touching the ramp, and another 10 if that unit is in the car.
Correct. Yes. Correct. All right. So this is how you build up. You start with the low risks, that you have a definite guaranteed score on the scoreboard, and then you move on from there. So we'll move up, we'll go up from here, we will take next parts, we will add high risk, we will, and so that's what we'll do tomorrow. As we go along, we increase the time that we're using, but we can fine tune it. And that's the last part of it, is where you start pulling it all together. But I would definitely say let every group have a guaranteed points. And there should be, because if everybody's working at the same time, or not exactly the same time, but kind of working with a single robot and each have their own attachment, it's very doable. Very, very doable. All right. And now there's comments. Hello, KK. Oh, I see she's in a taxi with no headsets and not able to comment. No problem. Oh, she's gone as well. Oh dear. All right. So really, it's about unpacking what looks like just a whole lot of rules and understanding. Please don't make it theoretical. Please let the learners, and that's why it really is a good thing to first and foremost just build all the missions, set it up with dual lock, and then start discussing what must you do. So, and also what you can do is get the teams, whoever builds the mission model, must then come and explain to the rest of the team what must this mission do, what is expected of this robot, what is expected of this mission, how must the robot do any of the things that it's supposed to do. All right. Okay. No questions. All good.
Seems like so.
All right. Okay. So maybe this evening, well, let's first say, is there anybody who actually got some of the low risk missions identified for their team? Okay. All right. So maybe in your thinking, maybe go
Yes,
and
Carmen.
look. Oh, there's Carmen. Hi, Carmen.
Hi. So Patricia, I just wanted to know, seeing that I don't have any of the missions and the stuff, where do I get that information? You know,
Okay,
what you
so
displayed just now.
yes, you can go onto YouTube. There's a lot of teams posting on superpowered how to do the robot missions, how to program the robot missions, what is required. So that is what you'll find. The actual elements or the actual mat and all the pieces that you get when you register a team for the competition. Okay.
Thanks.
All right. Okay, but we'll have workshops probably in next year, and then you can definitely come and join in the fun. All right. But I think it'll be a really good idea if you join, or if you just visit at least one of the regional events, and you'll get a better idea of how the teams, and all teams are different. All teams are really different. Everybody has a different way of approaching it. There's no correct way, no wrong way. And again, I must just remind you that usually the teams that are scoring doing the high scores on the on the YouTubes, they've been doing it for a while. Okay, so don't get despondent, but keep it real. Just keep it real. For me, the most important thing is a team having fun, that can enjoy and celebrate. I must maybe show you. I've got to find a video of my very first robotics team. They took a risk, and the robot had to go up on a bridge, and they knew it took 16 seconds, and there were only 20 seconds left on the clock, and they did it, and that's what you want. You want teams to have a whole lot of fun. All right. Okay. So on that note, we've got 8 minutes before. Yes, Casper.
We have a question from Marotta Primary. They want to
Yes.
Register a team for next year. So they want to know, how do we go about it? We are school based in Limpopo.
Okay. So maybe send me an email, and we'll give you all the information. Do you want to read? Yeah, send me an email, and I'll give you all the information. You can. So that's my email. Here we go. You're welcome to send us, and I'm kind of. Oh, there, Casper. Thank you very much. Just one question: Marotta, do you have robotics kits already? No. Okay. So, all right. send me an email. We can chat. Yes, Eric.
I'd just like to know, in terms of timing, when, let's just assume this, you're looking ahead for next year, 2023. What sort of timing do you register and get started in that?
Okay, so that is where you kind of work with teams usually through the whole year. And a new team, so if you have an experienced team that's done this competition before, they will do, say, maybe World Robot Olympiad, and then they will do First Lego League. And First Lego League is launched in August, and teams have 8 weeks to solve the challenge, and then they compete in regionals, nationals, and internationals. That is for a team that already can build and program. Okay. If you have a rookie team, you also have, and you want to take them to regionals, you also have that 8 weeks. And Angie is one of those coaches at the moment who's working with a rookie team. And that's why I'm saying you've got to keep it real. Okay. If you have a team that you can work with from January to June, then from January to June, you can maybe do all your training. You can do all the basic learning from the M1, M2, M3. They can go through all the navigation, the sensors, the attachments. You can go through all those lessons with your team. They can maybe compete in a virtual gear competition so that they are equipped. So when the next season launches in August, they are kind of hit the ground running, and then they can compete in a regional 8 weeks. It's usually 8 weeks.
Okay, but so if you want to register, you're basically looking at that August.
Yes.
Okay.
So you will register. So what we're doing now is we're saying if you want to register for the super powered off season, so from January to June, then we will not have regional events, but you will have celebration events at your school, or what we also have combined celebration events like what Kuda hosted and what Dorothy hosted. So that would just be a celebration event where multiple teams compete. That is not a regional event, but it's just a celebration event. Yeah, and that is what we're also trying to kind of recommend, that so that the groups get the kind of the competition experience. Yes.
Okay, thank you. That answers my question. Thank you.
Yes. So we're going to have a Western Cape celebration event. No pressure, Eric.
Dr. Close?
Yes.
That's a quick question. The Limpopo's regional is not the 29th of October. Oh, no, sorry, the 5th of November. Sorry, the 5th of November.
Yes.
Is it again at the University of Limpopo or not? Or don't we
I
know?
haven't spoken to Peter for that confirmation, but I think it probably will be there. Yeah.
Because I'm thinking maybe Moroto Primary, they can maybe go to the event and see how what happens at such an event.
Absolutely. And yes. Let Moroto Primary send me an email and I'll give them all the information. All right. 4 minutes to go. You can quickly go and get a coffee. Eric, have you got another question? Your hand is still up.
No more questions. Sorry, I didn't put my hand down.
It's good. I'm glad you're still with us. It's all good. Okay. All right. Thank you, everybody. This has been a really great session. Yes, somewhere we've got to start. And so whether you've got a new team, whether you're starting out, we have got most of the answers, and we really encourage you to ask the questions so that we can make robotics accessible for as many learners as possible. All right. Thank you, everybody. I see the recording is stopping soon, and we will just swap over to our